Hello everyone, my name is Sanskar Rao and I'm here to teach you about graphic designing. We are going to do a very introductory video on graphic designing. I'm going to show you a software which is basically available completely free of cost. You can download it and it is compatible with almost basically all running systems in the market. Second, it's very easy to use. The layout is very easy to understand like once you get a hang of it, as compared to any other dominant major industry softwares. Like if you talk about any softwares which are out there by Adobe, etc. I am into the field of graphic designing from uh, past 3 years, I would say, but still learning never stops. So my learning curve of course is improving, and I believe one can always keep on learning and learning, and there's a lot more yet to learn. But I learned it on my own. I self-learned it. Hence, the purpose of this video is to show people how you can do graphic designing with a software available out there, free of cost. Try your hand at it, and if you like it, you can go full-fledged into it and buy an official good software, which are the industry standard ones, and invest more time into it. But for that, let's first check out. So check out if you like it, move ahead, deep dive in. But for that, first let's check it out. So I'm going to teach you the software called Inkscape. I'm going to show you from where to download it. The basic user interface of the software Inkscape, the purpose of all the things, how do you operate it since from start to end, and how to do basic things in and around it. Thus, you can try your hand at it. If you like it further, I'm going to suggest some YouTube channels to you, which you can look for self development. And if you're interested, I can help out further. So, let's move ahead. So, you go to Google and you search up the software Inkscape. You just try that. Then, the very first link, inkscape.org, is the official link. I would highly recommend to not download the software from any third party websites at all. Just use this link because it's the official link. Click on it. Then you will be clicking on download. Then it will ask you current version, latest development version, extensions. We click on current version. Then depending on your system, operating system, and then just depending upon your operating system, you select it and it will automatically download the required compatible software file for the same. Once you're done downloading it, you go. So when you first download and install Inkscape, post that you open it. Once you open it, this is what the layout of the software is like. Here there is text and fonts available. Well, I just minimized it, sorry. I'll open it up again for you guys to see. So there is something called document properties available here. uh, Text was there, so I'm just closing all the dialogues, so it'll open as a basic Inkscape layout when it does open. So when you open it for the first time, this is how it looks like. First thing you go to is file, click on document properties. I'll open up this dialog. Thereon it will show you different page sizes through which you can select the layout in which you want your document. There are some common page sizes: A4, A3, A1, A2, A6, etc. For right now, I'm just going with A4. I'm selecting the units to be pixels because generally I prefer pixels. Width and height I'm not being concerned with, since I'm not creating a document which requires to have specific dimensions. Second, always remember to uncheck page border. This show page border should be unchecked whenever you're working. So what is this? So this refers to this page border which you see right here. So this page border is your work area, I would say, or canvas. But the thing is that it in a way restricts what you create. Like if you just try to make things around in this much work area, that would be not enough. Hence, I prefer to generally work with an unchecked page border, which allows me to use this whole area as my canvas. Then I close this dialog. Once all of that is done, I would start by explaining all the basic tools here first and foremost. First is the select and transform objects tool, which is right here, the black arrow. Second is the edit paths by nodes tool. This is tweak objects for sculpting or painting. That is a bit more complex tool, which we don't require to understand or go into deep right now. Keeping in mind the time constraints. Third is the zoom. Like the next is zoom in or zoom out tool, measurement tool, rectangles tool, 3D boxes, etc. You'll be able to see it on your own as well once you download the software. Giving you a basic rough idea slash demo of the software and doing something basic with it. Let's just start up. So before just going in right in, I would like to tell you what is edit paths by nodes tool. So every shape or every drawing which you create in graphic design consists of something called paths. So when I make something, it has a path. So what is a path? A path is basically a general outline, or I would say a general structure on which a shape or a drawing or a piece of art in graphic designing softwares is made up of. And this tool, edit paths by nodes, is used to edit the shape from specific parts or paths according to your wish. This is the general select tool through which you can select the shape, tweak, transform, or rotate it as you want. Now let's create a basic rectangle here. Now remember one thing, when you're creating any object or shape in Inkscape, um, you can or you may press Control and Shift and then create it. What that does is it creates the object right from the center axis from wherever your cursor is and scales it up from there, thus ensuring that its proportions are in sizes and not distorted. So let's do it. Thus I created a square which is exactly in size, and by pressing Ctrl and Shift you can see that I created a square from the center axis. Now what happens if I don't press Ctrl and Shift? I'll show you what happens. I'll change the color of the rectangle from here. Below there is a whole color grid given here through which you can change the color of any object. How you will do it? You will just click on the select tool, click on the object, and then just pick the color which you want, and it automatically changes it. Further on, you can also have a fill option from here. I'll show you how that is done as well. That can be done by bringing the dialog from here, fill and stroke, going to object and then fill and stroke. What that does is it gives you a dialog here named fill and stroke. You click on it and then you can change to different shades from right here, and you can also increase or reduce the opacity, and you can also type in the percentages of various opacity as you want. So that is how it can be done. Second, since this object is selected, I click on it once again, and when I do, I get the rotating options and I can rotate it like this. Now if I press Ctrl and rotate, I can control it at angles of 30 degrees each, thus being very precise when I'm doing so. I'll show you how. So you saw how precisely it moves when I press Ctrl. That's how it is. Next I'll show you what the patch edit nodes by path tools does is. For that we will have to convert this shape into an object. So what is an object? An object basically means that it will have a path and you can change its certain properties. Now a shape has a fixed property that it is of a particular nature. Like a square is a square. You cannot do anything to it right now in this particular software. You just can't. All you can do max right now is by using the edit paths by nodes tool. You can just make it rounded. That's it. But if you want to change its perspective or skew it a little bit or make it a bit complex shape, what you do is click on the object, go to object, or go to path, sorry, click on object to path, and it gets converted to an object. Then you click on edit paths by nodes, and then you see these dots, which are the new ones as compared to the earlier ones which we had. Now you will understand and see what I meant by you getting the ability to play with the properties of the shape in itself. Now let's say I select this specific point, I click on it, it's selected. To know whether or not it's selected, there'll be a blue highlight over the specific node. I click on it and then I drag it upwards. Now if you see, then I just click the select tool and I leave it. If you see, I've given it a bit of 3D effect in a way. I can do more such things by just edit path by nodes tool. I can just move it around and I can make it any shape I want. Now if you would see in a very focused manner, you would know that oftentimes you see in various companies have their logos designed by professional graphic designers. So what they generally do is they play with the shapes which are already there. So this whole figure which we created was basically a square. Now how did we create this? By making it an object and then just by playing through it different parts. Now that's all graphic designing is all about, to understand which shape can create a further new shape. This is allowing you to completely create something new which might not have even existed before, like this. Now if you see, I'm just creating a complete new shape which was not there. Now if I would show it to you as an image, you would say these are just two triangles intersecting, but in actuality they are nothing less than a square. So now that is what I mean by the amazing part of graphic designing. You can create stuff, you can come up with something which is extremely unique or extremely new, especially you have the freedom to try and experiment without anything to lose. So that is it for now. This was my introductory video on the software Inkscape, teaching you basic things about Inkscape and how you could try your hand first by creating a shape, playing with its parts, and understanding how you can create further on new shapes similarly. And if you're interested further in, I'll definitely share links of a couple of YouTube channels explaining the software better. And apart from that, I will also uh, help you by any other information which I have with regards to graphic designing. Thank you very much.